In today's video, we're going to be talking about 15 things you need to know about the B-11 Strikeforce jet before you end up buying it in Grand Theft Auto Online. So again, according to Rockstar Insiders, this vehicle is scheduled to release tomorrow on Tuesday, August 7th, 2018. And this is a very controversial vehicle. Obviously, another weaponized jet into the game, a potential griefing tool. How will it compare to the other, militarized jets we have as well? But today I'm going to be talking about 15 things you need to know before you end up deciding to purchase this vehicle. So let's start with our barrier to entry, and that is price. So unlike a lot of the smugglers run jets, the B-11 Strikeforce doesn't have a trade price. It's just $3.8 million on the Warstock cash and carry site. You don't have to do any special missions to get a cheaper price, just $3.8 million. So it's not amazingly expensive when you look at some other weaponized vehicles, especially the Laser. It's $6.5 million, but it is still pretty pricey. So $3.8 million is quite a bit. The next thing you need to know, this is going to be stored in your hangar. This is not a Pegasus vehicle. So if you don't have a hangar, you basically can't own this aircraft. So that's something to think about as well. If you, for whatever reason, don't have a hangar, you're going to have to buy that before you buy this vehicle. Speaking of the hangars, in case you guys are wondering, this actually takes up a medium slot. So it is not small like some people thought. This is a medium vehicle, which means you might have to shuffle around your, jets that you have in there, because it has been a good bit since we got another airplane or jet or helicopter that could fit in the hangar. So you might have to shuffle some things around. That might be a good idea to do that a little bit later today. Now, of course, we're doing all these tests in single player, but once you actually have the jet in Grand Theft Auto Online and inside the hangar, you're going to be able to do all the normal smugglers run customization to this vehicle. So that includes a paint job of a primary and a secondary color. The primary color is going to change the majority of the actual vehicle itself, with the secondary color changing like the very tips of the wing, little parts underneath the wings, and those little pieces inside the turbines as well. So you will have options to change the primary and secondary color, which is great. It's going to lead to some awesome customization and some different variations as well. Now, after that, you have everything else that's standard. You've got armor, you've got engine, you've got brakes, you've got the ability to add flares and chaffs, to add bombs to this vehicle, which we'll get to in a little bit. But first, let's focus on the main weapons of this jet. The first one is the homing missiles. Now, there's a couple things about the homing missiles that I think are pretty cool. Number one, Rockstar added a brand new missile prop into the game. So those green missiles that you see hanging off, those are brand new. We've never seen those on any other vehicle. Number two, they actually release from the jet, which is really cool. Missiles don't just appear out of thin air. You've got 3 on each side that once they fire, they release from the jet and they go after their target. Now, once all are dispersed, they will regenerate, but that still looks pretty awesome. After that, you've got the missile barrage. Same thing with the missile barrage. You see that canister closer to where the pilot sits? Well, you can actually see the missiles flying out of those, which is really cool. You get a volley of 6 each time, so 2 full ones will make it reload, which is kind of neat. And then after that, you've got the explosive MG, which takes just like half a second to get going, and you can see that you can actually see like the machine gun spinning, which is really, really cool, and sparks are flying out of it. So Rockstar already have put a lot of detail on this jet. Like, they did not cut any corners when it comes to this. They really did a good job of going over all the little details here. Now, a couple of other things I noticed scattered about on this jet are a couple of fun Easter eggs. This first is on the minigun itself. It says, "Warning, gun will fire if rotated by hand." Something I didn't know, but I guess that's probably on this jet in real life. In case you guys are wondering, this is based off of the A-10 Thunderbolt, one of the most popular military vehicles we have. So that's pretty funny right there. Another thing that's interesting to note, on the back of the jet, on like the tail, you'll actually see this like call sign. Now, it'll be like 3 or 4 letters. The default one is BRRT, which is like Bert. And that is Rockstar referencing the funny sound that the actual machine gun makes when it fires. You guys should check it out for yourself when you get this vehicle tomorrow in game. But it does make a very interesting firing sound. They seem to have replicated that from real life as well, and that says BRRT on the back. Now, what's interesting is when you update the liveries, that will actually change. So let's go to that right now, and we'll change between the different ones. You can see the Hog actually changes it to GAUT. I'm not sure what that means. If you guys know what that means, let me know in the comments down below. I'm sure it's some military thing that's going right over my head. Now, aside from changing that call sign on the back, these liveries will also change the colors that you will see, whether it's on the wingtips or the body of the plane or underneath. So that's something you have to pay attention to as well. The Snake changes the back one to SNK, which stands for snake. I thought that was pretty funny. The Shark changes it to Shark, SHRK. The Bunny, which is a pretty interesting one, you can see it changes to some pink accents on the plane. It changes it to BNY, which is kind of cool. I can't figure out the one for Camo Shark. It's FS. Again, maybe this is a military thing that I just don't know. So maybe you guys can help me out in the comments. Camo Hog is Tender, TNDR. Not sure I understand that one. Woodland Camo Hog is BLT, like bacon, lettuce, tomato. I don't understand that one either. White Tipped Hog, you've got BS. Camo Snake changes it to FN. Camo changes it to AGS. And then Stealth Camo Hog changes it to KY. So I understand a couple of those references, not all of them. Maybe some are random. Maybe some are just things, like I said, that are going over my head. And maybe you guys that are a little bit more informed on that can let us know in the comments down below. Now, also, changing to any one of the liveries on this jet will also give you a pretty funny Easter egg on the machine gun, or the minigun, I should say, as well. So on the front, if you zoom in, it kind of gets this icon that you can see. And it's a peace sign, and it has the text, peace through superior firepower. Or maybe it's superior firepower through peace. I don't know how it's supposed to be read, but either way, that's really cool. Again, it just shows the level of detail that Rockstar went into here. And also, just to the left of that, there seems to be like this camera. And I'm not sure what it does. Again, maybe more military-informed jet guys can let us know. What is this little security camera hanging down on the pilot's right-hand side? That's kind of cool. It has the drop tanks on there by default that don't really do anything, are just for show. But what's this camera doing right there? It's only on one side, so I'm really not sure what's going on here. But I did notice that on the jet. Now, in terms of things I noticed while flying this jet, number one, unlike the Hydra and the laser, it doesn't emit like a purplish red flame out of the back. Instead, out of the two engine turbines, you're just going to notice that the air is going to get sort of wavy. Like, you know, on a really hot day, if you go outside and you look at the road, it almost looks like the road is bending because that heat is coming off of it. That's the same sort of effect you get when flying the B-11 Strikeforce. Now, for me, I found it slightly annoying because it does distort a good portion of your screen. And there's nothing you can do to get rid of that. So maybe that's just something I have to get used to. Also, what's kind of cool is when the jet is spinning, or running, I guess I should say, or on, you can actually see the engine turbines spinning. And when they're off, they actually stop. Again, more details from Rockstar there that I think are really, really cool. Another detail that I think is neat, when obviously you go to brake, you will see the brakes on the wings come up, which again is awesome. So lots of detail here put into this jet from Rockstar. I am very happy that they decided to go into all of this detail here because they know it is going to be one of the most highly purchased vehicles in this update, and they definitely did not take any shortcuts when it comes to designing this vehicle. Now, another thing I should point out, I thought it was obvious, but since there are two-person jets now, like the Pyro, I figured this would be good. This is only a one-seater, by the way. So it is going to go in that category against competing against the other one-seater jets, and not something like the Pyro or two-seater ones like that. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am very anxious to see how the community accepts or rejects a vehicle like this, because this is going to be controversial, whether or not it's a good vehicle or a bad vehicle. That's all I've got to say. Now, I gave this warning in, I think, my Q&A video the other day, but I would just be very careful over the next week because just like with new adversary modes or new race modes, a lot of people tend to play them for about a week and then kind of forget about them. And it might be the same with this vehicle. You know, everyone's going to get really excited about this new jet, you know, for the next couple of days, probably over the next week. And then some of that excitement will die down. But while people are checking it out for the first time, they're going to want to test it on things. And do not allow them to test it on you. So just be very careful in public sessions because there's going to be a lot of these little jets flying in the air. Now, luckily for you, the Strikeforce actually does have its own icon on the minimap. That's another thing to point out. So you will be able to see when a jet like this is coming, but unfortunately, just due to how powerful it is, that might not be enough to give you time to escape. So anyways, that right there is 15 things you need to know about the B-11 Strikeforce before you buy this vehicle, this jet in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Is this going to be a vehicle you're going to buy? Or are you going to skip out on this? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.